Just 6 months into the year, and Wilmington has already seen nearly 100 shootings and almost 24 homicides. How do residents feel about what's happening in their city, and what is the new administration doing to combat the violence? In this week's First Look, we'll hear from all sides connected with the problem to find out what it will take to gain control of the city again. Since January, the city of Wilmington has welcomed a new mayor, police chief, and voted in a few new members to city council. Everywhere you turn, the changes are noticeable, even with new construction and people at work to make Wilmington more attractive. But with all the positive things in view, there's one thing that hasn't changed, and that's the rampant gun violence.
So here we are now at 2017, and we've got a shooting every other day. I mean, I can sit in my kitchen and hear shots and count the shots.
The number of shootings this year has shattered previous records. The most troubling, a 6-year-old caught in the crossfire.
We have to stop being afraid of where we live and who we're living with. I'm not afraid, because otherwise we'd have been gone.
Michelle Billups has been living in the West Center City section for nearly 40 years. She's witnessed so much chaos, even residue from a stray bullet that came through her front window. Many question, where does the city go from here? Lose hope or hold on to it?
You can never lose hope in people. When you see people, all I see is potential. It's most importantly, what we're going through is just temporary.
J.J. Francis heads the Hedgeville Civic Association. The group recently met with Wilmington police officers, including Chief Robert Tracy, to discuss the growing number of shootings in the city. Chief Tracy, who has worked in New York and Chicago, says his approach to tackling violence is hitting one hot spot at a time.
We didn't reduce crime in Chicago. We didn't reduce crime in New York by looking at the whole city. We broke it up into manageable pieces and had victories with the community.
During a ride-along, Chief Tracy says a good starting point in Wilmington is West Center City.
And I'm heading up there now just to take a look at the location, starting out from 7th and Washington, and it really expands from 4th to 10th Street, Tatnella, Adams.
It's the same area Billups says officers seem disengaged.
During the day, when we sit out here, or sometime the summer evenings when we sit out front or whatever, and a police officer will ride down the street, they don't even throw up their hand and say. Now, if I remember his face from coming through the community a couple times a week or whatever, then he should remember mine.
With a police force of 300 plus officers, Tracy says all that changes today. Officers' new assignment is to get out of their patrol cars, walk the streets, and interact with residents to develop a trustworthy relationship. That's what he calls community policing.
Do we have enough police officers? Well, I'm evaluating that, and I evaluate it every single day. But we are a department that actually has more police officers per capita than many other police departments in the United States.
However, not everyone is sold on Tracy's plans or believe it's enough to decrease crime.
My thing is that 20 murders is not like Philadelphia. It's not like Camden. It's not like Baltimore. It's not like Chicago. What it means to us is 20 murders, and the shootings, 100 and some shootings, means that the community and the police are not working together.
We've prevented retaliatory shootings that I know of that I can't speak about here, but we've prevented several retaliatory shootings that would have increased the numbers even more and possibly harmed other people.
Wilmington Mayor Mike Przicki says only time will tell.
You know, I just have confidence that what we are doing with the chief and his strategies and license inspections and housing and all the bringing everybody to bear on our community and doing it in a strategic way, I know it's going to work.
It didn't get this way overnight, and how things have and some problems that have evolved. So you have to manage expectations. If you're gonna build for long-term success, there has to be some patience.
The day after we interviewed Chief Tracy, there was another shooting. However, Chief Tracy remains optimistic, and so are residents like Michelle Billups, who appeared in the story. Tracy spent almost 24 years with the NYPD and then 5 years in Chicago before coming here. Billups says she likes the chief because he seems comfortable around different cultures, and that means a lot since urban communities, in her opinion, are policed differently.
And our communities like West Center City police differently.
Yes, to a degree, Mark, but Chief Tracy says it won't happen in a bad way. Overall, there will be more police presence in high crime areas and better communication between residents and his officers.
And earlier this month, we saw a big case that got a lot of headlines of a 6-year-old shot in the head by a stray bullet. He had been hospitalized for some time. Is there any update on that case?
Not much to report at this time, but just this week, the young boy, the 6-year-old, who's affectionately known as LJ, went into surgery.
All right, thanks, Nichelle. And you can follow this story online at newsworks.org/Delaware.